Well, he attack me. But Jaden Chase, they have to make the fans them know what really are going on.
Yeah, man, now move settings nation. And we no need no ladder. Yeah, man, Jaden Chase, and now when we go bring on another reason for the topic of current affairs. So if you're new to the channel, just a pass through, but you don't like the reason and of course you don't like the point of view, well, I'm suggesting to you that you click the subscribe icon and then kicking the like button. Now, let's get right into the reasoning. No nation, the opposition leadership, along with former Minister of National Security, has criticized Andrew Holness and the government's handling of the country's crime plan. No nation, it has been confirmed that the tragedy that took place in Clarendon was specifically carried out during the no movement protocols, which confirms that criminals have been using the protocols put in place by the current administration to facilitate criminal activity. Member of Parliament for the area said it was past unfortunate that such an act was carried out during a national curfew, when the community is supposed to have an increased police presence in the space due to the fact that there is a curfew and an all-island curfew would have started minutes earlier. Former Minister of National Security, Peter Bunting, said he was jolted by the gruesome attack and said that as a former Minister of National Security, he had been to many crime scenes, but very few have struck him as tragic as the scene that he saw in Clarendon. Bunting also pointed out that residents say that police were late on the scene despite there being 2 police stations nearby. Bunting said, "I'm very disappointed in the security forces, as not only the community or the parish but the entire country was on curfew from 6 the previous evening, and in a community where there have been flare-ups of violence, there was no regular presence of the security forces in the community that could have been there to either deter or stop the incident altogether." And when Bunting said flare-ups nation, to date, Clarendon has recorded the same amount of slayings, killings, murders as they did for the entire year of 2020. No nation, it is clear. Of course, the country has a crime problem. We have had this long before Big C-19. The problem being faced by citizens is that the security forces have shifted their attention. An incident can't take place in a community where there are 2 police stations nearby. In a community where attacks against the citizens are being carried out on a regular basis. If this was a gated community in the parish where there are no criminal activities taking place there, then maybe we could have said, well, maybe the patrol vehicles were patrolling more troubled communities. But this is a troubled community and there was no police presence there. As a matter of fact, they were late on the scene. And while the leader of the opposition is criticizing Andrew Holness and his crime plan, the Minister of National Security is saying that the protocols needed by the Ministry of Security are non-existent, as to date it took the police commissioner to step forward himself and instruct officers to pay more attention to crime and violence than Big C-19 violations. Now, what is also troubling is the report that has now been confirmed that criminals are using the protocols being put in place by this current administration to carry out and facilitate criminal activity. This family was targeted during the no movement curfew, as criminals are wise to the fact that their victims will be at their dwellings, and criminals are going for their victims at their place of residence. Now, this should not be only troubling to the administration, but for citizens themselves, and seeing the response time of Jamaican cops, then it is even a cause for an increase in concern. Nation, the current administration has failed the people. They have failed the people in security, and they have failed the people at the healthcare level. Now, nation, to date, 22 individuals have been slain between Friday and Sunday. Now, nation, when you talk to me in the comment section, recent polls published by local media suggest that Andrew Holness and Dr. Tufton have been doing a great job in their respective portfolios. Now think about this. The healthcare ministry has been faced with its biggest crisis yet. This is definitely the biggest crisis the healthcare ministry has faced in some years, seeing that they are faced with international pressure. But healthcare workers have blasted the healthcare ministry and the minister himself for a lack of focus, saying that there have been more attempts to import things to facilitate the vax drive than to ease the burden being faced by healthcare workers at hospitals across the island. Them still not getting the necessary beds, them still not getting the necessary amount of oxygen, which is troubling. After confirming that 2 mobile buses will be rushed delivered to the island. So why are the things needed by healthcare workers and professionals to ease the burden off of the system so that hospitals can reopen? Why are these things not being purchased and rushed delivered to the island? Now, as we speak about the Prime Minister, the biggest issue is something that he mentioned on the campaign trail, the issue of security and what he would be doing to fight crime as the leader of the country. Now, to date, despite this poll that is being publicized by local media, citizens of this country have said that Andrew Holness have done little to nothing to fight crime and violence, as his primary focus is on the issue that is taking place both here and worldwide, which is of course Big C19. No more your reasoning, nation. What you feel? What score would you give to the current administration if the topic is crime and violence? Basically, what we are seeing as a trend over the past weeks, where there have been no movement days, is that criminals have adapted to the protocols being put in place by this current administration, and crime and violence has increased. Now, the level of violence has also increased. Now it go from one individual here and there to an entire family at a time. Multiple victims in these incidents. And criminals are now carrying out these acts with a level of brutality, as if they are sending a message to other members of the community, as if they are trying to drive fear into the residents of these communities. And with 6 persons in custody in relation to what took place in Clarendon, more investigations need to be done. The only way they're not going to secure a conviction, and the only way the family can receive some sense of justice. If I also point out that the 4 individuals that lost their lives in Clarendon weren't the intended target. The intended target is a relative of the 2 sisters who was not among those at the house during the time of the tragedy. Talk to me in the comment section. Vice the one called Jaden Chase, the dancer, correspondent, the Gaza representative. I remind them now, if you're new to the channel, new to the movement, just a pass through. But you like the reason, and of course, you like the point of view. I'm suggesting to you that you click the subscribe icon and then the bell icon and put it on all. And this is how you know you'll be notified of all fresh content as soon as fresh content is uploaded and made available for you right here upon the platform. The like icon is also in close proximity to the share icon. Drop a like and must a share. Tell a friend, tell them sister, and them brother, them for check out the channel, check out the reasoning, join the discussion. Comment section of me 24/7, never lucky yet. Just be respectful and mindful of the guidelines. But other than that, drop your thoughts, your comments, and yes, your opinions there, and we can continue the reasoning via the comment section. You know the something go. You know how you feel. Know what I mean? Some tabloids are publicizing that the current administration is doing extremely well. What are your thoughts? Drop them in the comment section. Now, to the reason again, my sentiments for you and girls that want to live, love, and prosper.